I want to tell you a little bit about this algorithm for figuring out what the right size of scaling of the lens is relative to the eyes. Okay, so what we have is this initial idea where, just like you did earlier in this codex, you've marked the left eye and the right eye of the sunglasses. And the point is, if you compute this distance between the lens eyes and you compare it to the distance between the image eyes, you can see that the distance between the lens eyes with respect to the lens image is larger. Then what you need to do is shrink down this lens so that it fits over the eyes. And the amount of shrinking that we have to do is given by the scaling factor, which is the ratio of the image eyes distance. Remember, the image is fixed. We're not changing that. You divide it by the lens eye. Okay, so when you scale that down, basically in this case, the lens shrinks to fit the eyes. What happens if you're in a situation where the eyes in the image are bigger than the lens? Well, then you do the reverse, right? And you can see how the formula works out. You compute the distance between the lens in the initial case. If that distance is less than the distance between the image eyes, you need to zoom it or basically expand the lens to fit the eye in a proper way. And this ratio scale factor, which is the image eyes distance divided by lens eyes distance, in that case, will be greater than 1. So in both cases, if the lens has to be expanded or if the lens has to be shrunk down, this formula tells you the scale factor. And if the scale factor is less than 1, that means you shrink the lens. If the scale factor is greater than 1, it means that you have to expand the lens. And that's the way in which knowing the distance between the lens, where the location of the eye should be, gives us an idea of what the scaling should be in an automatic way. But of course, the second most important part of is knowing what the distance between the image eyes is as well, because you really need to compare the two to know what the right scaling factor is.